Welcome to Brazil. Brazil, a country of carnivals, jungles and contrasts. Brazil is the largest country in South America, occupying almost half of the continent, stretching over 8,515,767 square kilometers in tropical and subtropical latitudes. The official name is the Federative Republic of Brazil, and its capital is Brasilia, a specially designed city built in 1960 as a symbol of modernization. With a population of more than 212 million people, Brazil is the fifth largest country in the world by area and the seventh largest by population. Located in the east of the continent, it shares borders with all South American countries except Chile and Ecuador, and has access to the Atlantic Ocean with a coastline of 7,491 kilometers. Brazil is the only Portuguese country in the Americas, demonstrating its colonial history under Portuguese rule from 1500, when Pedro Álvares Cabral discovered the land, until independence in 1822. Its name comes from the pau-Brasil tree Brazilian mahogany, which was the first valuable resource for the colonizers. Brazil is a country of contrasts, where the Amazon rainforest coexists with bustling metropolitan areas such as São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, and where ancient Native American traditions are intertwined with modern technology. The country's climate ranges from the humid tropics in the north to temperate zones in the south, creating an extraordinary diversity of nature and landscapes. From the waterfalls of Iguazu to the sandy beaches of Copacabana, from the favelas of Rio to the modernist buildings of Brasilia, Brazil fascinates with its diversity. Brazilian culture, dancing, music, and a mix of traditions. Brazilian culture is a vibrant cocktail created from a combination of the heritage of indigenous Indians, Portuguese colonizers, African slaves, and waves of European and Asian immigrants in the 19th and 20th centuries. This mixture of peoples, known as the Brazilian melting pot, has given rise to a unique identity that is expressed in music, dance, religion, cuisine, and everyday life. Traditions and music. One of the most famous symbols of Brazil is the Carnival, an annual celebration that takes place before Lent, usually in February or March. The largest carnival in the world takes place in Rio de Janeiro, where millions of people take to the streets in colorful costumes, dancing to the rhythms of samba. Samba is an Afro-Brazilian dance and music style that originated in the poor neighborhoods of Rio in the early 20th century thanks to African rhythms brought by slaves. Samba schools compete in sambadromes, a specially built arena where their performances are judged on choreography, costumes, and creativity. In addition to samba, bossa nova, a melodic jazz style made famous by the song The Girl from Ipanema, and forró, an energetic dance from the northeast of the country, are popular. Another traditional dance, capoeira, combines martial arts, music, and acrobatics. It originated among African slaves as a covert form of self-defense disguised as a dance, and is accompanied by the rhythms of berimbau drums. Today, capoeira is recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. Religion and holidays. Brazil is the country with the largest number of Catholics in the world, about 65% of the population, reflecting Portuguese influence. At the same time, syncretic religions such as Candomblé and Umbanda, which combine African beliefs with Catholicism, are flourishing here. For example, Candomblé worships the Orisha, nature spirits who are often identified with Catholic saints. The feast of Nossa Senhora Aparecida, Our Lady of Aparecida, the patron saint of Brazil, is celebrated on October 12 with mass processions to the Basilica in São Paulo. Cuisine. Brazilian cuisine is diverse and varies by region. In the north, in the Amazon, fish dishes are popular, such as taca, a soup made from tangerine flour, dried shrimp, and jambu pepper that makes your tongue go numb. In the south and southeast, the main dish is feijoada, a stew of real meat, pork, beef, sausage served with rice, oranges, and farofa fried semolina. In the state of Bahia, where African influences are strong, paquis is prepared, pea puree with palm oil and seafood. Sweets include brigadeiro, chocolate balls with condensed milk, and drinks include caipirinha, a cocktail made from cachaca, lime, and sugar, and guarana, a soda made from Amazonian berries. Modernity. Modern Brazil is also about pop culture and sports. Football is a national passion, and the Brazilian national team has won the World Cup 5 times. Legends like Pelé and Neymar have become symbols of the country. Telenovelas, Brazilian TV series, are popular all over the world, and cinema is famous for films like City of God, which show the life of favelas. Beautiful and interesting places in Brazil, from megacities to tropical wonders. Brazil is a country where urban grandeur and natural beauty intertwine, creating unique contrasts that fascinate travelers from all over the world. Another diversity includes bustling metropolitan areas with neon lights and skyscrapers, quiet colonial towns with cobblestone streets, endless rainforests, majestic waterfalls, and remote islands with crystal-clear water. Each region has its own unique character, from the bustling Rio de Janeiro to the mysterious Amazon, from futuristic Brazil to the subtropical archipelago of Fernando de Noronha. Here is a detailed overview of the most beautiful and interesting locations in Brazil, which demonstrate its versatility and natural splendor. Rio de Janeiro, a wonderful city between mountains and sea. Rio de Janeiro, often referred to as Cidade Maravilhosa, wonderful city, is the heart of Brazilian culture and one of the most picturesque metropolises in the world. Situated between the Atlantic Ocean and the Tijuca Mountains, the city impresses with its natural beauty and architectural symbols. The statue of Christ the Savior on Corcovado Mountain 710m is a 38-meter-high monument erected in 1931 that has become an icon of Brazil. Its observation deck offers breathtaking views of Guanabara Bay, beaches, and green hills. You can get to the status by narrow-gauge train through the Tijuca Rainforest, the largest urban forest in the world, home to capuchin monkeys and exotic birds. Brasilia, a futuristic capital. Brasilia is a city designed from scratch in 1956 to 1960 by architect Oscar Niemeyer and urbanist Lucio Costa as the new capital of the country. Its layout resembles an airplane or a bird, with clear division into zones: the government center, residential neighborhoods, and commercial districts. The Cathedral of Our Lady of Aparecida is a masterpiece of modernism with 16 concrete columns that resemble hands raised to the sky and reflections that create the magic of light in the middle. The Alvorada Palace, the residence of the president, impresses with its light arches and driver's seat reflection. The National Congress with its 2 domes convex and concave symbolizes the legislature, and the Juscelin Kubitschek Bridge with its smooth curves has become an architectural icon. Lake Paranoa, artificially created to moisten the arid region, adds tranquility to the city and provides opportunities for water walks. Copacabana Beach, a 4-kilometer-long strip of white sand, is not only a place for swimming but also a center of social life. It hosts New Year's Eve celebrations with fireworks, beach volleyball, and concerts. Not far away is Ipanema Beach, a calmer and more bohemian beach, sung in the song The Girl from Ipanema. Sugarhead Pau de Açúcar is a 396-meter-high granite rock reached by a cable car. Its 2 stops, Praia Vermelha and Mount Urca, offer panoramic views of the city, especially at sunset, when Rio is flooded with golden light. Santa Teresa is a bohemian neighborhood with narrow streets, colonial mansions, and the Bondinho tram, which has been running since 1896. Local cafes and galleries attract artists and tourists. Salvador, the flavor of the first capital. Founded in 1549 as the first capital of Brazil, Salvador is the cultural center of the state of Bahia with an Afro-Brazilian spirit. The Pelourinho Historic District, a UNESCO heritage site, consists of colorful colonial houses with Baroque churches, such as São Francisco, decorated with gilding and Portuguese azulejo tiles. Street musicians play samba and capoeira, and local markets offer spices and açaí. Porto de Barra Beach is small but picturesque, with warm waters and views of Fort Santa Maria. The Lacerda Lift, a 72-meter lift, connects the upper city Cidade Alta with the lower city Cidade Baixa, offering views of the Bay of All Saints. Foz do Iguazu, the majesty of waterfalls. The city of Foz do Iguazu, on the border with Argentina and Paraguay, is known for the Iguazu Falls, a natural wonder consisting of 275 cascades spread over 2.7 kilometers. The most impressive part is the Devil's Throat Garganta do Diabo, where water falls from a height of 82 meters, forming clouds of spray and rainbows. The UNESCO-listed Iguazu Park offers hiking trails, boating under the waterfalls, and watching coatis, era parrots, and butterflies. Nearby is the bird park, home to toucans, flamingos and aracari, as well as the Itapu Dam, one of the largest hydroelectric power plants in the world, which impresses with its engineering power. Manaus, the gateway to the Amazon. Manaus, the capital of the state of Amazonas, is a city in the heart of the rainforest, located on the banks of the Rio Negro River, a tributary of the Amazon. The Amazonas Theatre is a luxurious 1896 opera house with European chandeliers and marble, built during the rubber boom, when Manaus was called the Tropical Paris. The river port is the starting point for Amazon cruises, where you can see the meeting of the waters, the place where the dark waters of the Rio Negro merge with the muddy Rio Solimões, not mixing for kilometers. Ponta Negra Beach on the Rio Negro is a place for swimming and relaxation, and the Adolfo Lease Market offers Amazonian fruits such as cupuas and acai. Fernando de Noronha, a tropical archipelago. The Fernando de Noronha archipelago in the Atlantic Ocean, 350 kilometers from the mainland, is a UNESCO-listed 21 islands with unspoiled nature. Bahia do Sancho Beach is recognized as one of the most beautiful in the world due to its crystal water and coral reefs. Sea turtles nest here, and dolphins swim in Dolphin Bay. Diving opens up the underwater world with sharks, rays, and colorful fish, and the Nossa Senhora dos Remedios fort adds historical charm. The number of visitors is limited to preserve the ecosystem. Recife and Olinda, pearls of the Northeast. Recife, the capital of the state of Pernambuco, is nicknamed the Venice of Brazil because of its many bridges and canals. Boa Viagem Beach is popular for surfing, and the Recife Antigua neighborhood with its Baroque churches and colorful houses comes alive during Carnival. Neighboring Olinda is a UNESCO-listed colonial hill town with churches, such as the São Francisco Monastery, and ocean views. Chapada dos Veadeiras, the Mesic Plateau. The national park in the state of Goiás is a plateau with waterfalls, canyons, and quartz cliffs. The Santa Barbara waterfall 30 meters with turquoise water and the Valley of the Moon with bizarre stone shapes attract nature lovers and esotericists. Historic sites in Brazil, a journey through centuries of colonization, empire, and gold rush. Brazil is a country with a great historical heritage that dates back to the times before the arrival of Europeans, when it was inhabited by numerous Indian tribes, such as the Tupi, Guarani, and Ja. With the discovery of Pedro Álvares Cabral in 1500, Portuguese colonization began, leaving a deep mark in the form of cities, forts, and churches. Later, the gold and diamond boom of the 18th century, the struggle for independence in the 19th century, and the short period of empire shaped unique historical monuments that reflect the stages of the country's development. These places are not only architectural treasures, but also witnesses to Brazil's tumultuous past, from indentured servitude to the formation of the Republic. Here's a detailed overview of the most significant historical locations. Ouro Preto, the Pearl of the Gold Rush. Ouro Preto, located in the state of Minas Gerais, is one of the best preserved colonial cities in Brazil, listed on the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1980. Founded in 1698, it became the center of the 18th century gold rush when the Portuguese discovered rich deposits of gold in the surrounding mountains. The narrow cobblestone streets winding between the hills, surrounded by Baroque houses with red tiled roofs, create an atmosphere of centuries past. The most prominent attraction is the São Francisco de Assis Church, designed by the brilliant sculptor and architect Aleixandro Antonio Francisco Lisbon. Its facade is decorated with exquisite carvings, and the interior is decorated with gilding and paintings depicting biblical scenes. Another pearl is the Church of Nossa Senhora do Pilar, which boasts a magnificent altar and a museum of sacred art. Tiradentes Square, named after a hero of the struggle for independence, is surrounded by historic buildings, such as the Gold Rush Museum, which houses artifacts from that time. São Luís, the colonial treasure of Maranhão. São Luís, the capital of the state of Maranhão, founded by the French in 1612 and captured by the Portuguese in 1615, is a unique example of colonial architecture in the northeast. The historic center of the city, listed in UNESCO in 1997, consists of more than 3,500 buildings, many of which are decorated with Portuguese azulejo tiles, blue and white ceramic panels that tell a story or simply add aesthetics. Streets such as Rua Portugal are paved with cobblestones and surrounded by mansions with balconies where rich merchants once lived. The Palace of Lions Palacio dos Leões, the governor's residence, is in the French and Portuguese style, and its interiors retain furniture and paintings from the 18th century. São Luís Cathedral with its Baroque facade and wooden vicarage is the spiritual center of the city. San Luis is also known for the Bumba Miao Boy Festival, which has its roots in colonial culture and African traditions. Diamantina, the Diamond City. Diamantina, another town in Minas Gerais, was a center of diamond mining in the 18th and 19th centuries. Founded in 1713, it has retained its colonial charm with narrow streets and houses painted in pastel colors. The Church of Nossa Senhora do Carmo is characterized by an exquisite Baroque facade and gilded interior, and the House of Glory Casa de Gloria, a two-story building with an arched passage, served as a residence for wealthy diamond merchants. The municipal market, built in 1835, is active, offering local delicacies and crafts. Diamond is also known for vesperadas, nightly concerts when musicians play from windows and residents sing in the streets, keeping the tradition of the 18th century alive. The city was added to UNESCO in 1999 for its authenticity and cultural significance. Fortaleza de Santa Cruz, Itamaraca Fortress. Located on the island of Itamaraca in the state of Pernambuco, the Santa Cruz Fortress was built by the Portuguese in 1631 to protect against Dutch invasions. This star-shaped structure with thick stone walls and cannons stands on the coast, surrounded by palm trees and the ocean. Its strategic location on the island allowed it to control the sea routes, and the casemates and chapel have been preserved inside. Nearby is the Forte Beach, where you can relax after exploring the fort. In the 17th century, the fortress passed to the Dutch several times, but was returned by the Portuguese in 1654, becoming a symbol of their victory. Petropolis, an imperial resort. Petropolis, in the state of Rio de Janeiro, known as the Imperial City, was the summer residence of the Brazilian imperial family in the 19th century. The Imperial Palace Museum, built in 1845 to 1862 by order of Pedro II, is a neoclassical building with pink facades and a garden where the emperor's crown, throne, and personal belongings are kept. Every evening, the sound and light show tells the story of the empire. The Cathedral of São Pedro de Alcântara with its Gothic towers and stained glass windows is the tomb of Pedro II and his family. The city is surrounded by the Serra dos Orgis Mountains, and its cool climate attracted the aristocracy, leaving a legacy of mansions such as the Quitandina Palace. Salvador, the first capital and the Afro-Brazilian heart. Although Salvador has already been mentioned as an interesting place, its historical significance is enormous. From 1549 to 1763, it was the first capital of Brazil, a center of the sugar trade and the slave trade. Pelourinho, the historic district, is a maze of streets with churches, such as the Basilica of São Salvador, and houses where Portuguese administrators lived. The São Marcelo Fortress, a circular structure in the Bay of All Saints, built in 1650, protected the port from pirates and became a symbol of colonial defense. Parnaíba, the Delta and colonial relics. The city of Parnaíba in the state of Piauí is known for the Parnaíba River Delta, one of the few in the Western Hemisphere. Its historic center preserves colonial houses from the 18th century in Porto dos Barcos, the old port where carnauba wax was exported. The Nossa Senhora de Graça church with its Baroque facade adds to the charm of this quiet bridge. Brazilian nature, rainforests, waterfalls and unique ecosystems. Brazil is a country with one of the richest natural heritages in the world, encompassing vast tropical rainforests, extensive wetlands, grand waterfalls, desert dunes and a subtropical plateau. Due to its location in the tropical and subtropical latitudes of South America, as well as its diverse terrain, from the Amazon lowlands to the Serra do Mar mountains, Brazil is home to approximately 15 to 20% of the world's biodiversity. This nature includes 7 UNESCO-listed sites and dozens of national parks that protect unique ecosystems. From dense jungles where you can hear the cries of howler monkeys to savannas with cattle pastures, from ocean beaches to prehistoric canyons, Brazilian nature expresses its grandeur and diversity. Here is a detailed overview of Brazil's most remarkable natural wonders. The Amazon, the lungs of the planet. Covering about 60% of Brazil's territory over 5 million square kilometers, the Amazon rainforest is the largest tropical forest in the world and is often referred to as the lungs of the planet because of its role in producing oxygen and absorbing carbon dioxide. The Amazon River flows here, the world's fullest river with a volume of water that exceeds the total flow of the next 10 largest rivers. In the rainy season December-May, its width can reach 200 kilometers, flooding the surrounding forests and creating smooth ecosystems, igapós. In the dry season Red-November, sandy beaches along the tributaries, such as Rio Negro and Tapajós, open up. The Amazon is home to 400 billion trees of 16,000 species, 2.5 million species of insects, 40,000 species of plants, and 3,000 species of freshwater fish, including piranhas and arapimas up to 3 m long. There are also jaguars, sloths, pink bottlenose dolphins, and birds ranging from ara to harpies. The UNESCO-listed Jau National Park protects black caimans and giant species, and cruises from Manaus can see the meeting of the waters, the confluence of the dark Rio Negro and the muddy Rio Solimões. Pantanal, tropical swamp and safari. The Pantanal is the largest tropical wetland in the world, stretching over 150,000 square kilometers in the states of Mato Grosso and Mato Grosso do Sul. It is a natural paradise where 80% of the territory is flooded during the rainy season October-March and turns into pastures and a lake in the dry season April-September. The Pantanal is called the Brazilian safari because of the incredible concentration of wildlife, jaguars, capybaras, the largest rodents in the world, caimans, giant anteaters, and more than 650 species of birds, including hyacinth ara and toucans. The Paraguay River and its tributaries create a network of waterways ideal for kayaking and fishing, especially for piroca. The Transpantaneira Ecological Route, a 147-kilometer-long road with wooden bridges, allows you to observe animals at close range, especially in the dry season when the water recedes. Iguazu Falls, a natural wonder. The Iguazu Falls, located on the border of the state of Paraná with Argentina, is a complex of 275 cascades stretching for 2.7 kilometers along the Iguazu River. The tallest and most powerful is the Devil's Throat Garganta do Diabo, where water falls from 82 meters, forming clouds of spray and rainbows that can be seen for kilometers. Inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1986, the waterfalls are surrounded by the Atlantic Coast rainforest, home to coatas, tapirs, monkeys and harpy eagles. The park's trails, such as the Macuco Trail, lead to observation decks and allow you to experience the power of the water up close, while boating under the cascades adds to the adrenaline rush. The best time to visit is during the rainy season October-March, when the waterfalls are at their most powerful. Lenzos Maraniensis, the Weeping Desert. The Lenzos Maraniensis National Park in the state of Maranhão is a unique landscape of white sand dunes stretching over 1,550 square kilometers. During the rainy season, January red, turquoise lagoons can be felt between the dunes, creating a surreal contrast that is referred to as the Weeping Desert. The most famous lagoons are Lagoa Azul and Lagoa Bonita, where you can swim in warm fresh water while enjoying the views of the endless sands. In the dry season July-December, the lagoons disappear, but the dunes remain spectacular for hiking and flying in light aircraft. The park also protects mangroves and the sea coast, where turtles nest. Serra de Capivara, prehistoric canyons. The Serra de Capivara National Park in the state of Piauí is an archaeological and natural wonder that was inscribed on the UNESCO list in 1991. More than 30,000 rock paintings dating back to 25,000 to 50,000 BC depicting scenes of hunting, dancing and animals have been found here, some of the oldest in the Americas. The park covers canyons, plateaus and dry caatinga forests, an arid ecosystem with cacti and thorny shrubs. The most famous places are Pedra Furada Pierced Rock and Basureo de Pedra Furada, where archaeologists have discovered traces of the oldest settlements in the New World. The area is home to armadillos, foxes, and rare birds such as red-footed boobies. Modern architecture and eclecticism. Modern Brazil based on modernism with local elements. The Celaran Staircase in Rio is a mosaic work by Chilean artist Jorge Celaran, consisting of 2,000 tiles from 60 countries, that turns an ordinary staircase into art. In São Paulo, Edifício Copen 1951–1966, another project by Niemeyer, the Museum of Tomorrow in Rio, designed by the Spaniard Santiago Calatrava in 2015, is a futuristic building with solar panels and environmental technologies that shows a commitment to sustainable development. Brazil is a country where carnival dances with the jungle, and Brasilia's skyscrapers reflect ambition against the backdrop of the vast Amazon. Its culture is a mixture of samba and feijoada, ancestral traditions and modern rhythms. From the historic cities of Ouro Preto to the natural wonders of Iguazu, from colonial churches to modernist masterpieces, Brazil opens up a world of contrasts and harmony that leaves no one indifferent. Subscribe to the channel and like it so that you don't miss interesting virtual trips to any corner of our planet. Thank you very much for watching our channel. See you soon.